Hi, I just wanted to share a vulnerability with you or that I went through when I built my course, 6 Steps to Free Media Publicity, which is all about promoting your business through traditional media, which is television, radio, print, and of course podcasts are very big these days. I procrastinated for a long time. The course itself is a 4-hour course, all shot on video. Obviously I wrote the course, then I shot it on video, then I edited it, then I went through Kajabi and a Mastermind, and I put it up and I now promote it. And as I say, it took me a long time. I'm at a dog park, by the way, if you can hear dogs. It took me a long time. I procrastinated, and part of the reason I procrastinated was because... Toby, stop it! Part of the reason I procrastinated was because deep down inside I didn't believe anyone would be interested in the course. Deep down inside I wasn't sure whether I was qualified. Deep down inside I had major doubts. I'm just getting a ball and throwing it to my puppy dog. Deep down inside I felt a ton of anxiety, and I felt a ton of self-doubt. And I finally completed the course. And get that ball! I finally completed the course, and as I say, I put it up on Kajabi and Mastermind, and it's doing well. But you see, even now when I look back at the course, I think I could have done this, or I could have done that, or that video could have been shot better, or I could have improved this, or I could have said this differently, or I could have marketed it differently. This is my dog here. It's Toby. Toby! Oh, good catch! There he is. So the self-doubts are still there. And the reason I tell you this is because no matter what you do, part of being human is having self-doubts. Even if you meet someone who doesn't appear to have self-doubts and is super confident and struts around, they'll still have self-doubts. So I just wanted to let you know that it's normal. It's normal to have self-doubts. But the most important thing is start. That's point number 1. Start, which is what I did. I still procrastinated. It took me a long time to complete the course, and I probably could have completed it in 2 months if I had have worked on it, more intently, etc. But I started, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Go and play with other dogs, and that's a good thing. But the second thing, and I think this is just as important, is whether you're building a course, whatever you're planning on doing, my advice would be to understand that yes, of course it could have been better. Of course it could have been better. But be proud of the fact that you started it, completed it, and you're now marketing it, if that's what you were doing. Just be proud of that fact. In other words, give yourself little pats on the back and learn from that. And of course you'll still have that little voice of doubt on your shoulder saying you could have done better, or this is not going to go well, or whatever those doubts are. You'll still have those, but the more you pat yourself on the back, the more you give yourself positive reinforcement, the more you more you will gain strength from that, and the less you will self-doubt. I teach media training. I teach people how to present in front of camera, in front of 5,000 people. I've done all of those things myself. And this is a big thing to admit as well, but there are times where I've presented, say, at the Adelaide Convention Centre where there's been 5,000 people, and people will come up to me afterwards and say, "Mark, you were fantastic, that was great, well done, da-da-da." And I'll walk out and I'll go, "Was it really? Was that okay?" Yeah, of course I can do it better. I understand that. But I'd almost whack myself on the backside and say, that wasn't as good as you could have done, so you failed. No, I stood up in front of 5,000 people, I presented, I did it well. Pat yourself on the back. And I'm talking in the third person here now. Pat yourself on the back, Mark. You got some nice compliments, accept those compliments humbly, and next time, there are possibly things that I could have done differently that I will improve on. That's a better attitude, because if you have the attitude that this is not going to work, or I put it together and it's not the best I could do and it's woe is me, That doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anyone. So I guess the point is, and this is probably a long way round of making this point, we all have self-doubts, even people who teach confidence and teach people how not to be anxious and teach people how not to, there might be psychiatrists or psychologists teaching people to be more upbeat and less depressed and less anxious, whatever it might be. We all have self-doubts. Just understand them, embrace them, be aware of them and accept them. But make sure, and this is the most important thing, make sure that when you have little wins, that you give yourself a pat on the back and say, Mark, speaking in third person now, Mark, you did really well then. I'm going to improve on that, but I'm not going to think about that now. I'm just going to be proud of myself that I did a good job, that I instigated whatever it was that I instigated, I followed through, and I achieved what I wanted to achieve. I think that's a far, far better attitude.